Hello, book lovers. I'm Peg, the book prize addict, here today to talk about my favorite, probably book prize of the year, one I've certainly followed the longest. I won't tell you how many years. Probably since before some of you were born, I've been following the National Book Award of the Best American Fiction of the year, that part of it. And it's certainly changed over the years, the kind of books they have and whether I like them or not. I have to talk about this year's a little bit. I haven't seen too many booktubers talking about them, and I can understand why. It came out Friday morning. There's 6 different National Book Awards given, and they put the fiction always last on Friday. And I was in a hurry to see it. I have a wonderful group on Goodreads called the MOOKSE and GRIPES group, which I've talked about before. They have much discussions about book prizes. Before they come out, they try to decide what deserves to be on it, much talk about that. And then when it comes out, they talk about it and guess what's going to be on the long list and short list and everything. So with the MOOKSE and GRIPES, people were kind of going crazy waiting for this one to go out, to come out. It's okay. Friday morning, I turn on, I see a list of 10 books, none of which I've even heard of. I mean, I try to keep, track of the possibilities. And I was like aghast. Anyway, so the first thing I need to do is get them on hold at my library. I got onto I have in a big library system with different libraries so I can look at all of them. And would you believe 9 out of the 10 are somewhere in the library system, not on hold by anybody else because I was there early and I got all of them on hold. So I should be getting most of them. Incidentally, we only have 2.5 weeks to read these before the shortlist comes out, which is definitely not enough time for most people. I mean, the idea is to sell more books anyway, but I won't complain about that. I'm going to give it a try to read all 10 of them and rate them with my numbered rating system, which I've done before. I was planning to do that. Okay, where were we? I could see they were all in the library, physical copies mostly. I did get some e-copies, and it appeared to me that they were a lot of debuts and foreign sounding authors' names. And I thought, good, because, lately I've been wanting to read novels about people not like me. I mean, I'm getting a little tired of, white middle class Americans and their problems. And more, the book prizes, and I'm going to talk about this more, are going towards more varied authors and topics and even countries and nationalities, even though they're written in English. And I could see right off this was what was going on here. And I could pick up, several of them are already waiting for me in the library. I see, I'll pick them up tomorrow morning. But I started looking, and the group I'm talking about, the MOOKSE and GRIPES group, was going crazy. These people know just about every book that's been published. Some of them have even been judges for book prizes, and they hadn't heard of any of them either. And it was fun watching the talk go on. Finally, they decided the reason they hadn't heard of them is because they were young, new authors and about marginalized people for the most part, which has become quite common. And then they started showing more interest. And one person, the leader of the group, David, reported that he had been contacted by a friend of his who's in the U.S. literary scene, whatever that is, and possibly knows some of the judges and how they picked the long list, which nobody's heard of. And he made the comment that the person said that he believed it was a political statement by the judges as a rejection of the past gatekeepers of the National Book Award, and that it's a generational shift onto new and different kinds that are becoming more popular. And it's less about being literary and more about lived experience of people from marginalized groups. I thought, wow, that's what I'm in the mood for. I really enjoy that. And being my age, I really need to learn more about what young people are thinking and doing. I don't have any descendants to get to know many young people, so I'm delighted when I read about people that have certainly lived a different life than me and are now of a different age group. Okay, so that topic came up, and there's much discussion about, yeah, that seems to be the book prizes have been going more and more, having some of their list be this type of novel, but this one went all the way. 9 out of the 10 novels are written by people under 40. There's only no white male authors, 2 white female authors. There's books from immigrants from all over Pakistan, Kashmir, Jamaica, Afghanistan, Mexico. And so we get a lot of immigrant stories, which there's so much going on now, and I know there's so many immigrants out there that I'm pleased to be able to learn more about their lives and what goes on. And there's one gay male author and 1 black female author who's also the only author over 40. She's 73, Gail Jones. She's also a black author, has been on the NBA list and Pulitzer lists before, but she's the only one most people have heard of. So immediately I checked out. I could get on electronic checkouts from my library. There's also 4 short story books, which is unusual out of the 10. But I actually also like short stories in this type of book because you get to know different kind of people and different stories, and that's what I'm reading it for. Anyway, so the final top at the end of it, you need to look up the conversation. In the conversation, they were making the point that a book does not need to be experimental to be literary, which a lot of the book prizes are going to the more experimental, hard to read, hard to understand, and they're more now into just straight plots of people. So I'm going to start tomorrow. Go pick up some of my ones that are on hold, and I'm going to try to read all 10 of them and do my rating system with the numbers that I usually do, scientific numbers, and rate them all before October 3rd or something like that is when but anyway, I got three of them on the short stories, and I've started reading them over the weekend and thinking about it, and they are going to be great. Okay, the first one is The Haunting of Haji Hatak. And this has to do with African refugees and immigrants here, and some of it still in Afghanistan. But the first story was great. It was called, it's some sort of gaming thing that the young man got this new game that he had saved up for. Now, I don't know much about gaming either, but I'm kind of interested in that. And I know it takes you into sort of another world. But in this story, the first story it was called Playing Metal Gear Solid, Phantom Pain. Anyway, but it didn't explain the gaming that he was into, but it explained how he was really out of touch with the rest of life while he was doing that. And it has a little bit of, some of them do, of a spectral atmosphere. That is a ghost or non-living person. In this one, his grandfather comes into his gaming dream or whatever he's going through and tells some of his life. And I love the way that's done, when it's done well, when they segue kind of a spectral presence into something. Okay, the next one I read the first 2 of was called The Town of Babylon. And it actually takes place in the U.S. in a small city that's getting a lot of immigrants in it. And it shows the pictures and the different stories of the different immigrant groups that are there. And they're learning to get along with each other. And this is kind of indicative, I guess, of the main guy that's talking, all the little houses. And the first one, he's walking, it's called Sidewalk. I guess he doesn't have a car. He's walking to his high school alumni group meeting and not really wanting to go, as many of us don't, but it's really well done. So these will be good. And the last one that I have on hand now is called Maria Maria. It's a Mexican author of her immigrant, and her stories are all very dark. You notice the skeleton from the Day of the Dead, and they have a dark tone to them. The first one took place in a college community course where the teacher was teaching some sort of black magic or something, but the whole thing was really kind of interesting and spooky. I can't wait to read more of those and more of all of them. So I'll be back in a couple of days once I start reading, and I'm going to use my scientific grading plan, so I'll have all 10 books graded by the time it comes out. I hope some of you guys will read some of these and let me know what you think. Thanks. Bye.